Okay. How are we all? Let's find the video. Oh, there's one. Rightio. So I'm just going to how's everyone going? Beck. I'm just rightio. Oh, this is the wrong thing. Okay. I think this is the video. My finger doesn't have any power. Rightio. Rightio. Hello, Debbie and Robin. Hello, Di and Janice. Oh, still cold. Yeah. Hello, Marie. Hello, Lisa. Hello, Quentin. Hello, Lorraine and Debbie. Robin. Sorry I'm running late. Just cold here. Don't get much rain. Oh. Right. It's cold and it's wet and it's miserable here. Yeah, freezing. Apparently, I just saw somewhere today that yesterday was the coldest day on record. Coldest ever July day on record for Gladstone. So we're doing Gnome for the holidays this week. You know, Christmas in July. Let's get all the papers out. Sorry, all my head off. We'll make a start on our Christmas stuff. Okay. Hello, Pam. 7 feels like 1.9. Yep. Yep. Yeah. Amelia's going to read on the lounge. Yeah, it was 11.9 was the top yesterday, apparently. I've still got a couple of things to pussycat for. I don't think I'm going to get them done. I'm going to be honest with myself. So let's get all the bits and bobs in here. Oh dear, it's cold. I see Quentin's post this morning that Facebook picked up that it was the Christmas 2020 title. I think Christmas 2022 has been made. I'm pretty sure it has. Gnome for the Joy to the World has. Rightio. These are the ones I haven't pussycat. Piece of acetate. Oh my gosh, it's cold. I'm running late because I went and grabbed another layer. Just got my red cardigan on as well as the other jacket. Oh yeah. It's just cold and it's taking days to get washing to dry. Okay. Right, well, because we have to use the air inside because it's raining still. It's been raining since Friday or Thursday or something. I don't know. What are we going to do? Oh, because of cold. Hello, Tanya. Hello, Beryl. Okay. Mermaid Wishes Retreat update. And who knew that there was going to be a natural disaster to slow down the postage? Right. Tanya M., your retreat kit is at your post office waiting to be collected. So the one that's going to take the longest is the one to Western Australia, but we already knew that. But she's going to have hers. She's still going to have hers on time for the retreat. Just got a message from Sandra that Australia Post is telling her she's not going to have hers until like the 15th. Well, it says here she's going to have it this week. Chloe, yours has made it into Rockhampton. Cheryl will have hers tomorrow. Most of them are ready to catch a flight to Victoria. Let's just say that. And Sydney. Yeah. Ours is in the walkway from the studio into the main part of the house. Lorraine, our era, it's a massive big thing and it's constantly covered in clothing. Missy is taken to removing a piece of clothing and bundling up in it and making herself warm. Hello, Cheryl. You should get yours tomorrow, Cheryl, I reckon. Yours is at Kearney's Spring. I don't know where Kearney's Spring is. Yeah, not the Chicken Craft. It's a bit yucky weather. So what are we going to make? We're going to make a card. Oh, crap, it's cold. Deary me. So we might use... matches that. It's got a bit more body for a base. We might paint that. I haven't got a cold, but I feel like my head feels like it's going to explode from the cold. I just feel cold. My joints all hurt. I'm going to say that all the joints that are like double and almost double, like hands, wrists, hip, all really hurt. I think I like the colour of this white better. Oh dear. I'm going to get rid of the Australia Post thing. So, yeah. I reckon come lunchtime today we should see most of these in Victoria. I'll give you my mobile number. You already have my mobile number. Let's have a look where... No, it's not telling me much on that screen. Rightio. Hello, Beck. How are you today? Things really hurt in the cold. Oh, there you go. It's in Toowoomba. So it says you got tested positive. No, I woke up on the weekend really, really tired. I did a test. It was negative. I wasted a test. That's how I feel about it. And because I taught a class at a school last week, I wanted to make sure, because people are sending their kids to daycare sick. Yes, there were a few with coughs last week. So how much of this are we going to use? We've got a shaker. We could make a shaker. I'm just thinking. Sorry. make a through bit that you look through. We could do that. And then add some gnomies. Okay. And then we could build this up with this. Okay. Okay. I think I've got a plan. I think. I wouldn't even know what to call the card. So let's cut a... So this is from the CD 650 because I like the colour of the white. Because I think we might use some of... Where is it? This stripy bit on it. And it's the same white. If we use it direct, I like to have the same white. So let's cut a... That was straight. Maybe it wasn't straight. So let's cut a 6-inch by 9-inch piece. And then let's cut a... And I'm cutting it with this barcode on this side so I don't end up with a barcode on any of my pieces. Let's cut a 5-inch by 5-inch piece. Then from the red glitter, let's cut a 4 3/4 by 4 3/4 inch piece. Yeah. And let's do some construction. So this base piece, this piece was 6 inches by 9 inches. Paper. So 6 inches by 9 inches. Oops. And then this was 5 inches by 5 inches. And then the red glitter was 4 3/4 by 4 3/4. So let's get our piece of acetate and we're going to fold it in half along the long ways. And then we're going to cut that in half, a piece of acetate. And we're going to end up with a piece that's like 2 7/8 by nearly 4 1/4. And the same again. So we're going to get 2 bits that are like 2 7/8 by nearly 4 1/4. So let's make like a see-through shaker thing on here. So to do that, let's do this. Let's get this. So you could use a full-size one of these, but I'm just going to use my little one here. So I'm going to score this at 3 inches. This is my 6-inch by 9-inch piece. I'm going to score it at 3 inches. And then look, love them on your paintbrush. And then that's our card base. So where my thinking is at, so a lot of times when I make this sort of card, I make a 6 by 12. I fold it in half, then I fold a piece back, and then I stick those two together, and that's just so wasteful. But I'm thinking we'll stick this on here like this. But what we'll do is we'll down this side here. Let's just sit that there so you can see where that goes to. So just so you can see the contrast. Down the side here, let's do it this way because that's 6 inches. Down this side here, what we'll do is we'll put a shaker here. Let's put a shaker in here. So a shaker will be in 3/4 from 3/4. That's 1.5 inches. It's coming like 1/2 inch there. Right, I would really, and when they borrow my metal ruler, Lorraine, that's when it all hits the fan. Hello, Diane, how are you? Thank you once again. Oh, I can't remember if I said thank you. Thank you to everyone that came to our embellishment extravaganza last night. It was fun. The boys have got the tub at work, and I've got the list. So this is our 5-inch by 5-inch piece, right? Our 5 by 5. So we're going to come in 3/4 inch from the top and the bottom, right? Up 3/4 inch from the top and the bottom, right? Then from this right hand edge, we're going to come in 1/2 inch, and then we're going to come across another 1.5 inch. So we've got 1/2 inch here, and then this is 1.5 inches, right? So down the bottom, I'm going to do the same because it's no good going, oh, I marked it there, because that's not straight. Oh, poor Naomi John. The car is having issues. We think she's done a pulley. Clinton thinks she's done a pulley, which has then done a belt. So in 1/2 inch from the right-hand side, and then another 1.5 inches across from that. Then let's match these marks over here. I'm being very light-handed. So 3/4 inch from the bottom, 3/4 inch from the top. So lucky she wasn't too far from the tyre place where the guys did her tyres this last time. So we're only going to draw the lines sort of in the area where we're going to cut our hole. We are going to cut this hole out, right? But we're drawing it up first. Yeah, if I wasn't teaching a class doing this, I'd probably just cut it. Yeah, that's me. Let's draw up our little rectangle, and it's going to be like a sequin viewfinder hole thing. I think we've got red sequins. There we go. So what we're going to do is cut this out so that we then, yes, it's 2 inches in total. So it's 2 inches in total. Definitely, Debbie. I got to work out which Debbie was shopping last night because I wrote Debbie H. Yeah. I put Debbie H on my list and I've got to work it out. Okay. What's the best way to explain this? Have to explain this in a proper way. Okay, I think I've got it. I'm just trying to work out how I'm going to explain all these processes that it's easy for you guys to repeat over and over again without it being like a big drama. Does that make sense? I just don't want this to be a difficult process. I want it to be as simple as absolutely possible. And sometimes making it simple is just a matter of making the design simple. It's about making your design workable.
Mom, can you please sharpen the stick pencil?
Does my facial expression say it all? Bring it around here, please, so we can show everyone what you're expecting me to sharpen.
A stick.
She wants me to sharpen the stick pencil. I think we'll leave that to Dad because Dad needs to get his whittling knife out and that needs to be...
Why shredded?
Well, you got to sharpen it with a knife. You can't sharpen it with a sharpener.
What?
What? We'll just leave it there and tonight we'll get Dad to get his
Knife out.
His knife out of the shed that he uses when he does whittling. I hope he's still got it. It'll be hidden from you.
Yeah.
So we're going to cut this hole out. Hey, can you, out of the watercolour class tub, can you get my eraser out, please? So we're going to cut this middle out. So we're going to carefully cut it. We're going to put the ruler on the outer bit because the outer bit's our good bit. Now, I have made this identical, top and bottom, so that I can flip it and it'll still work. I hope that makes sense. So the next one.
Where is the watercolour tub?
Don't know. It's over there somewhere. The boys brought it home. Just trying to get my video. I think I need to turn off this. Oh, now I've lost my video altogether. Turn this light off. That might be better. Is that easier to see? It was the other Debbie. Okay. I will double check everyone's names. Make sure I've got the right people. Oh, I thought it was the other Debbie. I think there's 3 Debbie H's. Well, there was 3 Debbie H's. Some people get too busy for classes and then, you know, life changes and then come back to classes and come and go, and that's okay. That's why they're saved forever. I have updated the list. If you are going to re-watch it, maybe message us your list. I've updated what's still available and what's sold out. A lot is sold out. A lot is not. Next Monday I'm going to do trims and twine. And all like pearl trim stuff. Okay, I'm not going to rip these out of the corners. What are you doing?
Sorry, I couldn't find the watercolour tub, so I got one out of Noah's drawer.
You got a brand new eraser out of the drawer.
Yep.
Thank you.
You're dropping a cockety jack.
Righty right. What are you reading? Or are you drawing?
Yeah, I'm drawing.
Do you need to borrow a drawing pencil?
Nope. I've got one.
Right.
But I just need to borrow rubber.
You aren't opening another new one, are you?
I need a rubber.
Well, you can go and find the one of mine you lost.
What?
Right, there we go. So we've got that cut. Let's get rid of the cutting mat because it creates a lot of glare. Don't fall over. Right. So we've cut that out. So then when we put our acetate on there. So can anyone see where we're at now? We've got to cut the innards out of this. But what we do have to do is be sure to cut. So we've got to make sure we've got a hole in whatever goes on the front and a hole in whatever goes on the back. Does that make sense? So whatever we stick on the back and whatever we stick on the front have got to have holes in them. So let's cut the middle out of this piece of red glitter.
Actual small one that's at the shop. I think that one's actually from here.
No, it's not.
And which one is?
We'll have to find it. So we're going to cut our innards out, and I'm going fairly close. Not too close. Yeah, I find cutting on the glass mats better because it doesn't blunten the blade. Usually the only reason why I change a blade is because it's been used as a lever. So let's test this and make sure I've got it small enough not to be seen. Oh, dear. Yeah, so if a blade gets used as a lever, then yes, it's definitely going to need to be replaced. But the glass mat, I find the self-healing mats damage the blades because the blade gets into the mat and it drags. I like the glass mat. You've got to be careful, but because it can just slip across. Rightio. There we go. So let's work on covering the back here, this side, the inside. What are we going to cover it with? Maybe we'll use a bit of this blue timber. So to cover this side here, what we're going to do is we're going to cut a piece that is 4 3/4 by 4 3/4. Okay. We're going to spend most of our time this morning on this shaker part of this card. We'll probably end up with no stuff left for tomorrow night. So we've got a 4 3/4, and this is paper number 1 by 4 3/4. Then we're going to put a little piece of tape on here. Not too tiny. I'm going to remove some of the stick. Then we're going to decide how we want it to go. Oh, I like it that way. I like it that way. I'm going to stick it where it's going to go. There we go. So it's stuck where it's going to go. And then what we're going to do is we're going to trace our inside.
Mum, I think we also might not be going to the shop.
Why?
Because the boys took the red umbrella and we only had the blue one.
Umbrella is not going to stop us going to work. So we've traced the inside of our hole. Let's remove the tape because it's going to be a pain in the neck. Then, do we want to have a little tiny border of white? I think we might. I think I need to show you that. So what we're going to do is we're going to eyeball this. We're going to do like a little, well, less than an eighth. I'm going to draw the line and show you. We're going to do a little border about that wide. So a little tiny white border. And the best way to do this is to eyeball it. And it is just to draw the line all the way around the outside of our rectangle. Well, that was a bit close. Let's make this one a little wider. Oh, yeah. There we are. So then let's get our ruler, turn off our glary big ring light. And then putting our ruler on the part we want to keep. So that's the outer part, the good bit. We're going to cut on that line we just added that's slightly out. Rightio. Now, because we stuck it on, our pencil lines don't really matter because they're on the inside. But it does mean we need to be a little bit gentle. And so try not to cut the whole way through with the first cut. You know, try and do a few cuts. The harder you push, the more likely you are to create a tear or, you know, or a jag on your piece. As you can see, I'm cutting a few times. Just where I've cut just slightly short in the corners. There we go. Oh, now I've got a little fluffy bit there. There we go. So let's put the lid on that because that's a dangerous piece of kit for me. Got a bit of a mess going on, haven't I? And there we go. It's not quite perfect, but it's close enough. What the hoo-ha? There we go. This is a couture. This is a mixed media one from Couture. I have no idea. Like 14 or 15 inches by 11 and a half, 12 inches. Sorry. Quentin knows. He packs them all the time. Rightio, so let's tape our piece. Well, and then let's get a piece of our acetate. And let's stick a piece on this side. So we're not going to make it a shaker box, as in a shaker box that's got a raised profile. But what we are going to do is make it a shaker box, whereas we use the paper and the cardstock to give us the depth we need. I'm just going to cut it down. Don't waste that. You make a mechanism of that. So then let's put some tape around. That's probably a little bit close. Remember, we've got to leave the gap for our bit we just made, our gap we just made. I am going to say probably not an idea to leave too many gaps in your tape. Like, don't leave big gaps. Oh dear, that's a bit close. So don't forget Thursday. So Naomi John's class this week is on Thursday morning. Rightio. Let's just do a test and make sure that we don't see any of our tape. And then before we actually go and stick this on, let's remove our lines on the other side. So what I'm going to do on this side is show you the other way that you can. So there's two ways to cover the side, and we're going to do a different way on the other side. Similar process, so the process is really similar, but at the end of the day it gives you a different look. So what I want to do is show you two ways, so you've got choices. It's all about having choices in craft. Right, so we know which side we're on because we've got tape on it. So let's remove this middle piece here. So let's remove this middle piece and use just that piece to help us get this where we want it. Now, it's not perfect. Got to admit, my eyesight's not the greatest thing on the planet. And I'm not, like, if I was crafting this, I'd be like this. I truly would have my face right up to it, and I'd be looking over it, and I'd be standing up, and I'd be looking straight down, and I would be, yeah, but you can't do that in a video. You don't want to see the back of my head. You want to see the project. So, henceforth, some of my lines are a little bit square. So let's make sure that's stuck down really nice. Now, we are going to have to remove that bit. at some point in time. So then let's get our piece of acetate. Oh yeah, let's just fold this back a bit. Let's put our piece of acetate in here. A bit of acetate, and then let's remove these ones. Now we're not going to stick the other end here because we need to leave that for when we do our base card construction. You know, I was going to paint my title and everything, and I've decided I'm going to fluff around with this for 5 hours. You know, 45 minutes in, and all we've done is cut a piece of acetate and 2 bits of card and a piece of pattern paper. And I've got stuff off my mat on there. Rightio. So there we go. We've got our window. And I've wiped it on my jacket, and I've got fluff on it. Yeehaw. It'll be right. And everything's going to static because it's as cold could be. So we're not going to stick this bit here, right? Because what we're going to do is we're going to use that. When we stick in here, we're going to use that to sandwich in and give the illusion of more engineering super duperness. Rightio. So I'm going to put this bit here, but I've cut one a little bit skinnier. There's my one I prepared earlier. And then we're going to use a piece of the other side of the blue. I'm going to put a piece of green here, right? So we need to cut a piece of the green down to, and I've made a mistake, but it's okay. I haven't actually made a mistake. Just, I've stuck the acetate in, and that's okay. So we're going to cut this down to be 4.5 by 4.5. So 4.5, and I'm going to make mine so I've got green at the top and the bottom by 4.5. Yeah. So I could do it the same way, except I've stuck my acetate on. Haven't I? Yeehaw. So you could make it that you've got that in the window. If you've only got a little tiny bit of acetate, you could actually make your window so it's actually got another print in it. But I would try and match the print up. So we've done that. We've made a mistake. Can we reverse scrapbook? Maybe not. Maybe not. But what we're going to do is we are going to get this right. Okay. So when you've stuck your acetate in and you need to do the other side, what you're going to do is line up with your even gap on either side, and then you're going to mark. So we're going to do this one. So you've got options. You do it that you have a tiny bit of the blue showing on the inside, and that would look quite nifty because even though it doesn't match up, you know, to make it match up like that, we'd have to have cut a tiny bit off each side even, and rah. You could do it. Do you know what I mean? Like you could cut it that you had a tiny bit on each side cut off, and then it would be, but because we just cut it all off one side, it doesn't really match. So that's dodge, isn't it? But yes, to get it that it's perfect and have a little tiny bit of blue on the inside, you would have to cut an 1/8 off the top and an 1/8 off the bottom instead of a 1/4 off one side. So what we're going to do is we're going to line it up, get it all lined up nice and straight and how we think it needs to be. And we're relying on our eyeball lining up techniques here. And then we're going to make our little marks just outside where we want it to be. Now that's skinny border. We're going to have to use glue for that business. Then we're going to do here, line it up top and bottom where we want it to be. And we're going to do our little marks here and here. Is that one? Rightio. Now, if I did it down here again, it's quite likely it's not going to be straight. But what I need to do is I need to just line this up with the edge of the paper and go, okay, that's pretty straight. And then I've got a guide here from there to there. And then what I'm going to do is line this one up, line it up here, make sure that this is even down through here. You could get like something out of a Kent set, your kids' Kent set or your grandkids' Kent set. And I could line this up and go like that, but, you know, not straight. I could use the lines. I think the lines are straight. That's pretty straight. So then with this one, we're going to line it up on the white line. Nice and straightish. You could calculate the measurements, you know, work out where the measurements are. So stripes has been quite handy for this, hasn't it? So is it... Yep, mine's pretty straight. So let's turn this light off. So stripes, method in the madness. So then let's cut the innards out. Hope for the best. It's only a piece of paper, Elisa. We're not going to wither on the spot if it's wrong. See? You've got to tell yourself these things. There may be a better way to do this. There quite likely is. This is just how I do it. There we go. Cut through. Let's do this one at this end. I'm going to do that one the wrong way. Yep, we are. So there's not enough here, and we've done this on the outside, and that's okay. There's not enough here for the ruler to hold, so we have to do it the wrong way, and we have to just be super duper careful. Oh, yeah. You could flip it over, but, you know, we wouldn't have those beautiful green lines, would we, if we flipped it over to work with. Those lines make it so easy. Let's test drive. Please work. It's not too bad. It's near enough. Rightio. So then let's erase the lines very carefully and gently. If there's one thing you should probably invest in, I think we're out of... don't buy those pilot erasers we've got on special for this particular job. They're good for other things, but not this particular job. This is a Staedtler. This is Big W. We do sometimes have in stock really, really good quality Staedtler ones, the ones that are even better than this. A decent eraser is such an important part of your kit. I'm just going to say, and this has got 2B lead in it. So it's from Officeworks, and I just buy the 2B lead. You can get the different lead. Sometimes we sell them. That green one I have is one of ours, but they're a bit dearer. I don't think the company we were getting them from is available, is open anymore, fortunately. That's just a little bit of a story of our lives at the moment. I think Lorraine was saying in a comment that the coffee shop she used to go to on Tuesday mornings is closed. That's not good. Rightio, or the bakery where she used to go. Rightio, I've got a mark there, I can see. And see how I'm really holding it really well with my other fingers, just so that it doesn't slip. Rightio. So we'll have this piece and this piece. Like that. So let's get to the point where we're going to stick on our acetate. So what we need to do is stick our glitter frame on. And I'm actually going to stick mine on with glue. And then we're going to stick on an interesting little add-on piece. Remember, this is glitter card. This is a bit of a pain in the neck. So I'm going to use some of my Dimensional Magic to stick this on. Ooh. Bit of a sidestep there. Oh, 11 kids again today. Oh, wow, Debbie, that's... Take my hat off to you. Ooh, I should have checked that that's going to be right, but I think it is. And then when we put this on here, are we going to see any red glitter? Oh, no. No, we're not. Barely. Barely. Yeah, we are. No, we're not. Just. I should have cut that just a little bit thinner. Whoopsie. If it's not messy, yes, it's not a craft desk if it's not messy. Have a great class, looking good, off for coffee. Oh, give g'day to Gwendy. Oh, cool. I love it when you guys know each other. Yes, enjoy your coffee. Oh, Debbie, dearie me. Hello, Jason. How are your mum and dad? Hello, Heather. Rightio. So now let's cut like a strip of, just a 1/4 inchy strip of our glitter card, and we're going to whack it down here, right? I know that seems weird, but we're doing that so that, where's our other piece of acetate? Oh, I can't see that. We're doing that so that it helps us balance out our acetate when we sit our acetate on here. So we're using the thickness of the glitter card as well to help us, make sure you have enough of a gap, to help us have a space for our sequins. So let's cut our acetate to size-ish. Just going to cut a little bit off. Don't throw that out, that little scrap, because sometimes they're good for making mechanisms. Oh, maybe that's a class. That'll be like a 10-hour class. Cards with mechanisms in them with Alicia. That's going to be interesting fun, hey? Okay. Next step is we're going to attach our acetate to the back of here. It's no good attaching it here because we're running the risk that it's not going to be in the right spot and it'll be seen. So we're much better off attaching our acetate to this. Rightio. It's like putting the tape down and then sticking the photo on top of the tape. Rightio. Some glue down the middle here. And the glue down here is a tiny smear. And then what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to smear it a bit. So it's not thick and globby. It's just a smear. And then let's attach. Oh, peel the tape off. Oh, gee willikers. Let's just put a little bit of glue on there. Just going to hold that still for a minute. I think you're all pretty good. You're all pretty flash. I'm not a glue fan. We all know that. So let's tape this up. Let's get it all taped up. Geez, we're nearly at the end of this, you know, mammoth effort here. I'm going to use some more glue. Put our support piece in. I've got all erasing bits, all the bits from the eraser. Yeah. So let's get some sequins, some sequences. And sequins and acetate equals static. Yep. And it's a cold day. Why do I always do sequins when it's cold and staticky? Yep. Exactly. Right. They're in there. So when the other one comes above it, what's going to happen? It's going to go ding, 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 and ting up to here. So let's add our glue here. You know what? We're going to peel tape off the whole thing. And then we need to put glue on top of this piece of glitter card here. And then what we're going to have to do is put on the inside edge of the glitter card out here, not this bit over here, inside edge, we're going to put a little tiny bit of our glue. And up here. but not here, because that's just asking for trouble. Let's peel it all off. Let's just Russian roulette it. Yeah. A bit of it down the side there, and let's just smear that bit a bit. Let's add a tiny bit more. And we just want to smear that just out towards the edge so it doesn't, the lumpy bit doesn't smear into our window. Rightio. So let's get our window where we want it. Really should have cut that piece of glitter card a bit thinner. Probably not the most exaggerating thing I've done. It's a little crookedish. Most of that's got a lot to do with, oh dearie me. Most of that's got a lot to do with this glitter card on this edge here being too thick. See, now I should have tested that a bit better. Right, there we go. I've got it right now. I got glue all over me. Right, so let's make sure it's stuck down really well. I can see a tiny bit there, but yeah, there we go. The back and the front. And because it's not got a lot of gappage, it means that it's not going to all just pool at the bottom. You'll have some that'll stick up the top. Let's finish the card. Dear me. What have I been doing all morning? Walking around with a shaker. Rightio. A little bit of that there. Rightio. So, let's get our other pieces going. You're right. Right, okay. So, we want a 5 3/4 by 5 3/4 piece of this glitter. Don't look at the back. So we're going to go down 5 3/4, and we're just going to come down to this middle line. This gives us the opportunity to keep this plain bit here, this bit here for tomorrow night. So 5 3/4 by, let's just feed that bit there in. Get it nice and straight at the top. My 5 3/4. So let's get this red, and let's do a 2 3/4 by 5 1/2 of red glitter. So 2 3/4 by 5 1/2. And then from white, we're going to do a 2 1/2 by 5 1/4. We'll go back over these before we stick them down. So that goes on there. So then let's get the blue from paper 1, and let's cut a 2 3/4 by 5 3/4. It's going to go there. Then from our glitter, let's cut a 2 3/4 by 5 3/4. Rightio. I'm going to go back over those again. Okay. So from the green glitter, from paper 3, we've got a 5 3/4 by 5 3/4 and a 2 3/4 by 5 3/4. Okay. From the red glitter card, we've got a 2 3/4 by 5 1/2. And from the white, which we made our base from, we've got a 2 1/2 by 5 1/4. And then from blue, from paper 1, we've got a 2 3/4 by 5 3/4. And I will go over it as I stick them on the page, on the card. So in here, let's cut the innards out of this red glitter piece. And then stick the white piece to the red piece. So the red piece was 5 1/2 by 2 3/4. And the white piece was 5 1/4 by 2 1/2. This is to write your sentiment on. Yeah, I'm sticking it down. It's glitter card. I'm just going to... So this green glitter piece was 5 3/4 by 5 3/4. Oh yeah, I probably should. So this piece is going to go here like this, right? We need to cut the bit out of it. Just going to mark in just a little bit. Do need to do this to alleviate some weight. Rightio. Let's stick this bit on, and then that gives us somewhere to put tape. So it's going to stick on there. So notice how I build all my bits before I stick them to the project. I like to build as much as I can before I stick it to my card base. Sorry. It is really pouring here. So our sentiment, or where we write our message to our loved one, is going to be hidden. See? There'll be a little tiny bit of glitter showing. It'll be right. We will survive. Okay. So now we need to cover this piece, this bit. So we've got a 2 3/4 by 5 3/4 of blue and a 2 3/4 by 5 3/4 of green glitter. Don't look at the back. glue goes on the front. Which way do I like? I like it that way. Yeah.
Can I use your rubber? And I promise I'll give it back.
Yeah, put it somewhere. Yeah.
I'm so
So maybe I should have measured and cut that bit of glitter a bit smaller, but yeah, it'll be right. I'll survive. I will survive. Okay. So we're going to reverse craft in a second. We're going to back up a little bit with this in here. So we're going to peel this back here. Right? We're just going to peel it back a fair way. Back to there. Right? We're going to put some tape on the white side. Going to cover this white side here for a bit. Not the whole way across. And what's going to happen is the white's going to get stuck to the front and then the blue's going to be stuck on the inside. So we're sort of sandwiching this piece here between. So I'm going to hold this back. Let's kind of crease that a little. I don't like doing that. It is what it is. So let's work out where we need to go to be central. Oh, look, I've got glue there. Let's stick that bit out there. And then let's just pull this back just a touch. As far as we need to, but being super gentle. And then stick that in there. Oh, bugger, bugger, bugger. See, now I didn't let that glue dry before I mucked with it. Okay, word of warning, let your glue dry before you move your card. It's glitter card too. Don't you love glitter card? I love it, but I don't like the the additional requirements of working with glitter card. Deary, deary me. See, I should have held it down for 10 minutes before I did that. Okay, so while I'm holding that there, let's have a look at what we've got. We've got this side on, but that's okay. So I'm thinking Joy to the World may not fit. Oh, bugger. Should have thought of that beforehand, shouldn't I? Let's have a look at what we've got here. We've got lots of creatures and things. Oh, I've got an idea. I have an idea. See, it's hanging out with all your ideas, people. You guys are the best. You're very tolerant of my craziness.
Moms really do use rubbish for a lot of things.
Yeah. Let's get our fussy cuts out. I do love Gnome for the holidays. You know what? I wish I could come up with a new paper range every week. I don't have the time to design what I want to design. I don't have the dollars to get the paper made. It's a bit of a bummer, that, isn't it? I need to win the lotto so I can get more paper printed. Oh, got a little bit of a smush in there. Oh well, get that. What if we do Joy to the World in here? Maybe not. I like that. I do like that. She's cute. Or he. She, he. It's cute. See, it's let go here as well. Bugger, bugger, bugger. No, don't go under there. Oh. See, you've got to let it dry. And it's going under there. Okay. What not to do when crafting with Elisa? Elisa's How Not to Craft lessons. How's that sound? See, it's probably too wet outside to realistically be doing this kind of thing, because the glue's not drying. Nothing is drying. Okay. I'm thinking I want to paint my tile. Let's move that over there. I'm going to hold my hand there. The paintbrush. Now, I've grabbed out my Mop Mart. Now, these are a class set. I don't know where mine are. These are the watercolour pans that we sell. Okay, so you might have these ones from us. See, mine are an old set of Dale Rounding ones. When I say old, I mean old. And they've been kitified, but they're just not of the same. A lot of people would jump at the Dale Rounding first. I used to be like that. I'm going to say the Montmartre ones are probably better quality. I'm going to say they are better quality. So I've got my watercolours. You've probably got something. Have to convert Naomi John to these. These have been used in a kids class. Just so you know, they've been used in a kids watercolour class. Let's put some water in here. Let's get this a bit clean up. Naomi John's watercolours she's using, she didn't realise that they are a set we bought her for her birthday a few years ago from our store, because we stocked core. They're like $130 watercolours. Yeah. My daughter has expensive taste. So get a bit of water. That's what this bit here is for, is to put your colour. I don't mind that, but I think it might need a bit of dirtiness to it. Get a little bit of brown. Yep. Let's clean that up. Let's get a bit of this maroni colour. Obviously the kids, were big into China in this, Let's just mix it up a bit. Oh, there we go. We've got like a burgundy colour. That's how simple it is. You're just going to look at your colour and go, okay, I need to add a little bit more of something. Okay, I'm not using a watercolour brush. I could reach over behind me and grab a watercolour brush. So, if I want to paint the parts of this different colours, what I need to do is I need to colour around and over. Oh, I'm going to go straight through here. So you can get a nice crisp line with the watercolour. Let's do a bit of blue up here. That's a nice bright blue, but it's probably a bit too bright, isn't it? Let's bring a bit of pink into it. Oh, that's too purple. Let's bring a bit more blue back in. Let's bring a bit of pretty brightness to it.
Blue makes everything better.
Blue makes everything better, says Amelia Rand. Obviously, the kids that were using these were right into purple. So let's do our world in blue. Oh, look, that's a pretty good blue. So I used the bright blue, a little bit of the pinky red I made, and a little bit of like a bit of pretty blue. Let's just make that go up to the O. You don't need a lot. Like, you don't need to mix the whole massive big batch. You can see that. But you don't need a massive amount. You could just use your ink pads, like put splashes of ink pad onto your sorry, I'm holding my hand like this. I am determined that this is going to stick. I don't like my chances of it sticking today. So notice how I waited to come here until the red was dry. If the red was still wet, what would have happened is they would have bled into each other. At least something's drying today. And I don't need it to be all exactly the same level of colour. It's nice to have a bit of dark and light. Let's put a bit more red on here in places. Oopsie. Do we want to make a green? Are we going to risk it? Maybe not. What are we going to... Let's leave the to the in white. Is it going to show up? Probably not, because it's on white. Let's do... If we put on a gingerbread house, we can put gingerbread colour. Let's make a gingerbread colour down here. So what's this colour look like? Oh, that's a bit too orange. Orangey brown. You don't need a special water tub either. I've just got a raspberry jam jar. Bring in a bit of our red. So it's nice. Notice how I put a bit of the red into the blue and I put a bit of red into the brown. So what that does is it's called, some people, it's got lots of different names, but it's called, you know, sourcing the mother kind of thing. And that sounds really awful. But so in our watercolor design here, the mother of all colors is, and that's not a bad term, so the mother is red. So the red that we made is, she is the source of all colors. So there's a little bit of the red in the blue, there's a little bit of a red in the brown. And that's how you can make a design work really well. If you're painting something or doing an art journal page and things aren't quite working, it may be because you've just, every color is not linked to another color. This doesn't always work. I wouldn't make a green and put the red into it, but then again, you never know. Let's put a little bit more of the brown on here just to boost it up a bit. It's our gingerbread house brown. But it is a technique you can employ to make sure. So it works well with pattern papers. So if you're making a page and you want to use different pattern papers from different brands, maybe make sure that there's one color running through the different patterns that's similar. Like, doesn't have to be in every pattern, but make sure each pattern is linked to at least one or two other patterns, and that will give you that you know, that core color that runs through the design. Thought I missed this. Happy I get to watch some of the live at least. Also, awesome, Karen. Thought you were missing. There was no scribing. Oh, oops. Okay, Helen. I think Helen's gone now. Time is a big problem. I'm reading a book at the moment and it's called Not a Life Coach, and I finally worked out that he doesn't like life coaches. Because he says it. And I couldn't work out whether it was just, he was saying not a life coach, but he is a life coach on the front cover because he behaves a little bit like one, this guy. But he talks about people aren't lacking in motivation. They might be lacking in time, but they might be maybe haunted by demotivators, things that take away your motivation or demoralize your motivation or get in the way of your motivation. But no one is not motivated. No one is lacking in motivation. They're just lacking in the ability to overcome the demotivators that get in the way of your motivation. Hope that makes sense. It made a lot of sense to me. I reread it a couple of times and thought, oh, that's really interesting. I've picked it up because I finished the other book I was reading, and Quentin hasn't finished the book he's reading, which was next on my list. He does take a little longer than I do. I'm a bit of a speed reader. But yeah, so I'm back to this one that I was reading when I bought the other two. Well, actually, the book Quentin is reading was my next book 2 or 3 books ago. Rightio. And then we had a little poinsettia here, and we had a bauble, a blue bauble, a small blue bauble. We've got to be having a house now that we've got the whole gingerbread in our joy to the world. Let's get a heat tool. I hope you all saw Quentin's heat tool post about, length of use and blue flames are bad. I hope he said blue flames are bad. I'm doing this because I just don't want the heat to get onto my glue and reactivate it, or, which shouldn't happen, or melt my plastic. Just trying to keep the heat away from my plastic. I think we need a house on the inside. This is my person on the inside. Like this. I think in there. Right, I've got glue in there. Right. Okay. So let's stick on our poinsettia. And our Christmas gift. And then our title, Joy to the World. I have to check with Quentin after class if he's heard from the mechanic at the tyre joint that we use. You know his work. Much easier for them to get parts. Oh gosh, it's such a wait for parts up here. Such a pain in the neck to buy parts, car parts up here. Oh yeah. Might have put a bit much glue on. Oh yeah. So, the big takeaway from this class is let the glue dry. Before you move on to the next step, let the glue dry.
It's always an important step.
It is an important step, isn't it, Amelia Rand? So I'm going to put my little bauble on foam here. I could have put glitter on my title and that, but yeah, we've been going for a while. It's being gentle because I think this is unstuck here. It's just... That's not bad. And then we're going to put a little... I'm going to put a red house here. Let's put our red house here. So this is probably a little wide here. Probably needs to be like an eighth and a quarter of an inch short of both of these. Like 2.5 and 2.25. Is what it is. I'm just going to put a little bit of glue on the bow because I ripped the bow when I was fussy cutting it. You get that? Hey. And then let's stick the inside flat. Let's have a look. So you can see our person through our little window. There we go. And then there we are. You can just see the tiniest little bit, but it doesn't look that bad. The tiniest little bit of red glitter. How not to craft with Elisa. You know how it goes. Car parts anywhere, yeah. They seem to have it a bit easier in Brisbane. We seem to be able to get, that's why we have two places where we go. One, to get the car fixed in Brisbane. The weather is not helping with glue either. No, Diane, it's not. My fingers are cold. Thank you, Tanya. Thank you, Diane. Thank you, Diane. There you go. Some of my sequins have got glue on them, so they've made smushy marks. But there we go. How's that? Oh, what's on the screen down here? Let's get rid of that. And then when we open it up, got that one. And that. But the big takeaway is let the glue dry before Like, so when you're gluing acetate and glitter card, you really need to give it a chance to dry before you do anything with it. Yeah, and you need to test it a bit because there's just a little tiny, I don't know if you can see it, there's just a little tiny shadow of red there. But there we go. We made a shaker card, and it does stand. And he learned something about watercolor. Thank you, Jacqueline. Thank you, Cheryl. Thank you, Beryl. Thank you, Karen. Thank you, Marie. So thank you all for tolerating me for nearly 2 hours. Watch from the beginning and make this. Awesome, Desley. I can't wait to see what you make. But yeah, the big things are let the glue dry. Test this here because this red border, glitter border, needs to be really, really narrow. And yeah, when I've stuck it on, I've ended up with this stripy bit. I've ended up with a bigger border at the bottom than the top. Is what it is. I'm not particularly worried right now. Got bigger fish to fry. But because it's white up here, it doesn't look so bad. Because this is white here, it doesn't look as bad as what it could look. Who knows what I've done? Yeah. I think I've lined it up badly when I've gone to do the lines. Who knows? But there you go. Either that or I come on the wrong side of the line. That's possible. But yeah, so I did the mark on the wrong side of the line, I think. Oh, who knows? Is what it is. But this is double width down here. But yeah, so there we are. I've got glue there even. I've got glue. Oh, it's coming out of here. Glue is just not drying today. I think it hasn't been drying for days. But yeah. You don't mind if your class is long. Cannot do much else on these wet days. No, Marie, you can't. Thank you, Heather. I'm going to try to create a card like this. Awesome. Awesome, Mum. Diane, can't wait to see it. Yeah, rainy day. Obviously raining at Lismore as well. And Boona. Thank you, Pam. Thank you, Janice. Don't care how long they take. I enjoy them. Thank you, Karen. Had over 4 inches of rain, Desley. Wow. It's been raining constantly here for days, or just about constantly. It was really heavy this morning. Thank you, Robin. So thank you all for coming to class. Take care. Stay safe. Love yous all. All the retreat kits are on the way, except for the 2 people that don't want theirs sent yet. Or 3. It's either 2 or 3 that didn't want theirs sent yet. And yeah, we will see you all tomorrow night for scrapbooking with our leftovers. We've got a bit left over. Not a lot. We've got a bit. Got a lot of creatures and people. Little people. But yeah, so thank you very much. Thank you, Tanya and Desley. Thank you, Karen. So take care. Stay safe. Love yous all. And thank you very much. See yous later. Bye.